Pregame.com.
Welcome back to Pregame.tv. It is Saturday college football action. I'm going to have a free pick on this one, and we got a nice little record running here with the free picks on the video. I'm on a 16-7 run, Ken, overall. But football, I've done 5 football videos so far. Perfect 5-0. Let's knock on wood and see if we can keep that going.
Yeah, you bailed me out last week because BYU let me down on Saturday, and then North Carolina on the Thursday night game, the longest yard. I needed Burt Reynolds to get that last yard there. So I did real well as far as the premium plays, though. I went 3-1 on Saturday, real nice day, and then 1-0 on Friday. So off to a 4-1 start as far as the premium plays, which is good, and 19-9 in my last 28 overall. So I'll take that going in and just trying to ride that.
Absolutely. Now, we're going to take a look at this Kansas State game, and a lot of people were shocked at the score. And I think the people that were shocked were casual fans, because you look at Kansas State and you remember this team from last year going up and down the field on everybody. They bring back almost everybody on offense except their big quarterback from last year. But they got beat by North Dakota State 24-21. Now, most people, you say North Dakota State, they're going to go, who? But this is, and I always mix these up, this is the FCS.
FCS, and they back-to-back champions.
Yeah, this is the best team in FCS. In the best team in the lower division actually is better than a lot of our bottom-rung teams in Division I football. So it wasn't as big of a shock to as many people in the know and guys like you that, interview these people and coaches all the time. But Kansas State fans, they're like shaking their heads like, what the hell just happened here?
That was funny because, everybody knows Kelly in Vegas and she graduated K-State. And so we were all saying, get off the stratosphere, walk away from the ledge, giving her a hard time there. But this North Dakota State team, Marco, is a good program. And you saw the line. It was evident that those sharps that knew about North Dakota State and their track record with the back-to-back championships were all over this game. Went from 17 all the way down to 12 in some places.
Key and to talk about that, and something that we're going to do from time to time when we're doing video. We're not going to just give you free picks, but we're going to talk about looking at things with line moves, and something that I do. That went from 17, and like you said, ended up closing at 12.5. It went from a key number of 17 starting at, and went through another key number.
Yep.
When Vegas will go ahead and roll through key numbers, they are getting substantial money, and that's not public money going to drive numbers through 2 sets of key numbers. That's real money, sharp guys, and as you said, the sharps were all over that one, and it was easy pickings for them because not only did they cover the game, they won the game.
Yeah, you're a good call, and probably the public money came from when the game was 13.5 down to 12.5. They got on it late. Still turned out there was plenty of value left.
Absolutely. Now, moving forward to this game, if you're looking at it from the Kansas State's standpoint, do you push the panic button, or do you say, hey, we just really got beat by a team that's a lot better than people realize?
No, exactly. I mean, first off, you're breaking in a new quarterback. You lose Colin Klein, so you got to start with a new quarterback. One thing with Snyder's teams, when they come off a loss, especially when they're staying in the Little Apple in Manhattan, they're going to be disciplined. They won't make mistakes. They won't beat themselves. North Dakota State got a late touchdown. They end up winning the game. It's not like they backed into it. They took it. Kansas State, unfortunately, had a 21-7 lead, saw it slip away and lose the game 24-21. On the other hand, UL Lafayette, they went to Arkansas, and they did not look good. And Broadway, their quarterback, as good as he looked last year, he looked like a deer in the headlights against Arkansas. And I will give Bielema a credit because he had that team ready, and they looked sharp. Their running game was very, very good. So I think you got a lot to be excited about in Fayetteville in Arkansas. But for UL Lafayette and Coach Hudspeth, this is a game where you get to find out a lot about your football team.
Absolutely. In Arkansas, a lot of people, here in town, I know were on Louisiana Lafayette. They were a popular play.
I'll raise my hand. I was one of them.
I didn't use it as a premium play, but I do a lot of radio shows, and I actually do a show in Arkansas. And I went on the show in Arkansas and said, your Arkansas Razorbacks are going to be life and death this week with Louisiana Lafayette. So I didn't make any friends on the show, and now I look bad taking Lafayette because
you're not going back back on that station, are you?
Well, I'm on every year, every Friday there. But the situation being, I just didn't think it was a good situation for Arkansas with all the turmoil they went through last year. You know, the year before having, the coach, losing the coach because, all the things that
extracurricular activities.
Yeah, some fun extracurricular activities, but nonetheless, he got himself in trouble.
Doesn't affect him as a coach, as we saw at Western Kentucky last week.
And that's another story in itself. He's done a great job there, and I think he's going to be there the rest of this season. And I think somebody will knock on his door next year and forgive his sins, so to speak, because winning fixes everything. But back here, Belima went in and took a program that was in complete shambles. John L. Smith this team there was no discipline on the team last year. The team, I think, quit on him in the season, and it just spiraled out of control quickly. You had the quarterback last year calling his team out, for a lackadaisical performance against Alabama and stuff. Just a bad situation. And to go in there, first game of the season, and remember, his style is totally opposite of what the players were recruited for at Arkansas. To have that team play as well as they did was, impressive. So now that begs the question to me is, was Arkansas that good, or is Louisiana Lafayette, did they really drop off from last year?
Yeah, that's a tough question, and that's the great thing about college football is we're going to start seeing a lot of these questions get answered as this season unravels. And for handicappers like us, this is where we have to side one way or the other, or just leave it alone. But I know this is your free play, and you're going to make it official because you're going to go one way or the other on UL Lafayette.
I am. All right, guys, I'm looking at this game, and I know Kansas State, they're shocked that they lost last week. And even though they know that this was the #1 team coming in from the FCS, they still got to look and say, hey, North Dakota State, we're Kansas State. And I think they took them a little bit for granted. And then when they got into that game and realized they were in for a battle, they weren't prepared mentally to handle it, and they got beat by a better team. Now they're going to be playing a Louisiana Lafayette team that really got throttled last week at Arkansas. Arkansas was able to rush the ball last week 51 times for 292 yards. What's more impressive about them rushing the ball that many times last week is this Arkansas team was recruited to be a passing team. The previous coaching regime was pass first, run second. And Belima was able to go in there in one, practice sessions and, the spring practices and, get ready for fall here. He turned his team around, and they were like a machine last week. I think we're going to see some problems from Louisiana Lafayette. And if Kansas State comes out focused and in an angry mood, and with Coach Snyder, they're not going to have their heads hanging low. They're going to be coming out, and they're going to take a pound of flesh. And unfortunately, that pound of flesh is going to come from Louisiana Lafayette. This line opened up at some places earlier under 10, went to 10, and went over the 10. It's at 10.5, and that's not public money early in the week. That is sharp money, and I absolutely agree with it. This team will be focused and ready to play. I have them winning this game 41-23. I think both teams will score points. I'm going to go ahead and lay that 10.5 with Kansas State. Make that our first free pick for the week. Let's see if we can make it 6 in a row with the free picks. Take Kansas State. I'm calling them 41-23 on Saturday. Now, we're going to be right back for a Sunday video. You're going to get a free pick from me again. Ken and I are going to break down the Sunday night football game. We're going to take a look at the New York Football Giants going in to play Dallas Cowboys. And Tony, how many interceptions will I throw Romo? Up next here, pregame.tv.